children. Now, I also spoke this afternoon to a relative. She didn't want to talk on camera, but she was with the parents, telling me that they are just heartbroken and that the family has been doing its own search, looking for any sign of these two missing children. The little 6-year-old boy does have autism, but at this hour, police don't know if someone abducted them, if they just wandered away. And there is a large area of woods around this community. There are also a lot of retention ponds, so police saying at this hour they could be anywhere. The family is pleading with everyone to keep an eye out for them. And police, you see, have this area roped off. They are letting residents in and out, but anyone other than that is being kept out of that immediate area. However, you can search the other areas around here. I want to bring in now my colleague Kaylee Tracy, who has been out here since this first happened yesterday. They were reported missing yesterday at around 11:30 in the morning. That's when the dad noticed that they were missing. The relative told me he went inside for just a minute getting ready for a barbecue, came outside, they were gone. And Kaylee, you spoke to a couple who said they saw right around that time, just before noon, a car just rushing out of this area with 2 kids in the back.
Yeah, a couple actually came up to us last night, Heather, and they were on their way to talk to officers to tell them what they had learned earlier in the day. They said that they were on a walk. They go on a walk every day in this neighborhood. They live here. Around 11:50 in the morning, again, 11:30 is when they last saw these children. They saw a car speeding by. They said a woman was driving, and they did see 2 children in the back of that car. Now, initially, they said they didn't really think anything of it. The Amber Alert came out, and then it jogged their memory, and they said, oh my gosh, you know, what if that was them?
Right.
They didn't get a clear look at the kids in the back, but they did talk to officers, and when we talked to JSO earlier, they said they're investigating that tip as well as several others, and that's why Sheriff Williams saying earlier today, the public is so important in this search and helping them search alongside officers. As busloads of detectives, officers, and crews continue to search, the sheriff says so far they've come up empty-handed.
We have found nothing as of yet, so that's why we're asking right now for the community again to remain vigilant.
Crews Monday mapping out a plan, walking the streets, knocking on doors, searching sheds, cars, leaving no stone unturned.
They're 5 and 6, so if they did walk away, think about that. But anything in the area that would attract children potentially to play, any of those things. We're looking at manhole covers, we're looking at lift stations. I mean, so anything you can think of, we've at least touched it once already, and we're expanding that now as we speak.
Williams says crews are also searching a dense wooded area north of the home and ponds in the area. He asks the public, if you see something, please tell officers.
Anything at all that you see that may be out of place, whether you believe it's connected to this or not, just reach out to us and let us know, let us figure that out. But we really do need the tips.
And I do want to mention a lot of people have been asking us about the parents in this. As we heard, the father was out there setting up for a barbecue, but we do want to mention JSO says that both of the parents tell them that they were both home at the time this happened. They both live in this home, again, a little further back behind on the road behind us here. And I do want to give you, as Sheriff Williams, as you heard, said, the community is so important in this. If you have any information or any tips that could help them in this, I'm going to give you 2 phone numbers right now. You can please call the number 904-630-0500. And if you do want to remain anonymous, there is a second number for you to call. That number, 904-398-3775. Again, if you know anything, JSO is asking that you please contact them. I'm going to toss things over now to my colleague, Troy Kless.
Thank you, Kaylee. Speaking with people that live in this area, they tell me that a lot of this dense wooded area also has some trails that people will often walk through. Darian Porter and another neighbor that live in the area, they say that they'll often see kids walking on those trails, and they joined police and they told them about one particular area they thought might be worth checking out. They said they thought there would have been a chance that Braxton and Bri'ya were going that way.
Dylan Kuntz and Darian Porter live in the Paradise Village neighborhood. They say they will often see Braxton and Bri'ya Williams outside their house.
We've seen them down there right by their house. They'll be with their brothers or sisters, playing ball, riding a scooter, skateboard, or any of that.
The two say they notified police about a shed filled with old tools and knives in the woods. While it did not lead to the children, Porter says he and Kuntz want to do whatever they can to help.
We just want to make sure, because we want to see these kids get home safe.
Finding Braxton and Bri'ya, something this entire community is hoping for.
And Heather, you mentioned too that there is a large presence of both Jacksonville Sheriff's officers and Jacksonville Fire Rescue personnel. And Sheriff Mike Williams alluded to this earlier today, that they're going to keep expanding the search again and keep pushing until they have to get to a point where they may have to reevaluate things. Heather?
They are not sparing any resources in the search to find these two missing children. Troy, thanks so much. I have to say, as a mom, it was heartbreaking when I got out here this afternoon and I saw two officers go right in front of me into a home. There was the front yard of a home, there was a manhole cover, and they were literally lifting off the cover, looking inside, seeing if they could find any sign of these children. They did not find any sign, but we cannot show you their picture enough. This is who they're looking for, the little 6-year-old boy and his 5-year-old sister, Bri'ya and Braxton Williams. Family members, neighbors, police have been handing out these flyers. Continuing our team coverage now is Lana Harris, who spoke to the children's grandparents today.
Yeah, people here are worried. I've been out here since very early this morning, and I got the sense that a lot of people knew Bri'ya and Braxton. They are 2 of 7 siblings, and we're told that they all play outside a lot, so it's not unusual for them to have been out here. All the way down there where you can see that crime scene tape, that's around the spot where their trailer is. And I'm told that these 2 little ones especially are not known to stray far on their own. So throughout the night and all day, the family and neighbors seem to be focusing all of their energy on the search, hoping maybe they did just wander off and can be found versus the terrible alternative of them possibly having been taken. So some neighbors and family members went into the woods behind the kids' trailer today, called out their names and searched under debris and around small areas of water back there. An official search and rescue team with canines were out there as well. Now other people spent their morning passing out flyers throughout their neighborhood and in nearby schools and businesses. The effort here has really just been incredible. Neighbors say when Bri'ya and Braxton's family first noticed they went missing, they immediately started looking in some of the places in the neighborhood they like to play, and when they realized they were really gone, that's when they called the police. So here's more from the children's grandparents and their plea to get their grandbabies home safely.
We haven't slept, we haven't eaten. We're worried about our babies, but I've cried all night. From being over here with them, I've never known them to go out in that wooded area, hoping that nobody took them. Braxton and Bri'ya, if y'all see Granny and Papa, we looking for you and we love y'all.
Their grandmother, Roxanne, who you just heard from there, said that Bri'ya and Braxton's parents are heartbroken right now. So if you are so inclined, they are asking for your prayers for their safe return. Here in Jacksonville on the west side, I'm Lana Harris, First Coast News, on your side.
Lana, thanks so much. And again, the Jacksonville Sheriff saying today that the family is cooperating with investigators, that family pleading for everyone to keep an eye out for these 2 children. And I just spoke to a Jacksonville Sheriff's officer behind the police tape right there. He told me that for anybody who is watching, who wants to come search, they do have a check-in, and that's located at a church at the corner of Beaver Street and Celery Street. You can go to Beaver and Celery to check in if you want to help search this area, as hundreds of police officers are out here tonight. They will continue searching every avenue possible until they find any sign of these missing children. And coming up tonight on First Coast News at 5:30, you're going to hear from a neighbor I spoke to. Right beside me is a children's bus stop, and I talked to an aunt who was getting her niece and nephew off the school bus today. You're going to hear what she told me tonight on First Coast News at 5:30. But right now, the Amber Alert still active for the missing 5- and 6-year-old brother and sister. That is the latest from Paradise Village on Jacksonville's west side. We'll send it back into you in the studio.
Braxton and Bri'ya have now been missing for 30 hours. You see their pictures here next to us.
That's right. The 6-year-old and 5-year-old were last seen yesterday at 11:30 in the morning. And we were told the parents searched for the children before they called the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office 2 hours later. Now a community still searching the Paradise Village neighborhood. They just want to find any clues, any leads, and so far, police are coming up pretty dry, they say.
And we do have live team coverage for you tonight at 5:30. Kaylee Tracy has been covering this story from the beginning.
But let's start now with Heather Crawford, who has been speaking to neighbors. And Heather, tell us what they are telling you tonight.
Well, Jeannie, they, like everyone in this community, just wanting to know where this little 5-year-old girl, Bri'ya Williams and her 6-year-old brother who has autism, Braxton Williams, are tonight, and still no sign of them. Now, the good news is it's been relatively warm out here tonight, but as the sun starts to fall, this is going to be the second night that they are unaccounted for, a 5- and a 6-year-old, and police just don't know what happened to them. They have not ruled out foul play. They don't know if someone abducted them. They don't know if maybe they wandered away. And here in the Paradise Village community, there are a lot of retention ponds, there are a lot of woods, there are a lot of areas to search. And so as night falls, the effort to find these 2 missing children at the center of this Amber Alert is not slowing down. We have seen detectives and police officers and K-9 units all day long going in and out searching for these 2 children, as neighbors have done their own search and the family as well. I want to bring in now my colleague Kaylee Tracy. You were out here yesterday, back again today, and we talk about where these children could be. Really, they could be anywhere, but you know, it really was a moment when I got here this afternoon and I saw police officers very close to where we're standing lift up a manhole cover and look inside, seeing if they could be there.
Right, and they said they're not leaving any stone unturned. They're doing that. They're, as you can see behind us here, they have all these assets, not only local but state, federal assets, JFRD, JSO, and they are searching with drones. They have helicopters still circling above us here, using sonar with the dive teams as well. Again, not leaving any stone unturned, but Sheriff Williams telling us earlier that they not only do they have all this, they really need the public's help though. That's where they need people to come in, and he's making a plea to you at home, if you know anything, to please contact them. Search crews out Monday knocking on doors, searching sheds, cars, ponds, and the wooded area here, anywhere little Braxton and Bri'ya could possibly be.
We're looking at manhole covers, we're looking at lift stations. I mean, so anything you can think of, we've at least touched it once already, and we're expanding that now as we speak.
Williams says so far, hundreds of officers and investigators using state and federal resources have found no sign of the children. Not sure if Braxton and Bri'ya are alone or with someone else.
So right now, everything is an option. I mean, we are working multiple scenarios. Foul play could be a factor, obviously, at this point.
That's why Williams says they need the public's help.
Anything at all that you see that may be out of place, whether you believe it's connected to this or not, just reach out to us and let us know. Let us figure that out. But we really do need the tips.
Williams says both parents say they were home at the time Braxton and Bri'ya were reported missing. And he says the entire family is and has been cooperating. And Heather, like we just heard Sheriff Williams say, again, a plea to the community, but again, more specifically, if you've had any surveillance video on your properties around here, any businesses nearby, they're asking for that as well, if you're willing to have them look at that, and just anything on your property, search sheds, anywhere that these 2 children could possibly be. We don't know if they're alone with anyone else. And before I toss things back to you, I want to give a number to people at home if they have any information to please contact JSO. That number, 904-630-0500. And if you want to remain anonymous, we have a second number for you. That is 904-398-3775.
And Kaylee, really no tip is too small, right? At this point, police are pleading with the public to give any information. Kaylee, thanks so much. Relatives too also saying, please go, if you live on Jacksonville's west side, go look outside, look in your garages, look anywhere children might be attracted to or could have gone to go hide or gotten stuck in there. You know, there are a lot of kids who live here in this Paradise Village community. And I met Jennifer Waldron. She told me she has 11 nieces and nephews who live here today. She was right next to me today at a bus stop where kids were getting off the bus after school, picking up her nieces and nephews. And she talked to me about this community and about what she and her family are doing to search for these missing children.
My brother searched that side. We went back. There's a lake back that way. We went around the lakes and stuff and just tried to make sure that that wasn't possible. Any abandoned trailers, anything that would be on that side. We went searching. I got off work about 6 o'clock yesterday, and we searched a little bit after work. And nobody's found anything yet. There hasn't been any changes.
And that's what's so mysterious about this all. No sign of these 2 children, last seen playing in the front yard of a mobile home here at around 11:30 in the morning. Their relative told me their dad was outside with them, went inside for just a minute, came back out, and they were gone. So if you're at home and you're wanting to help, there are ways that you can help. First, we have these pictures of these children on the First Coast News Facebook page and on our website. Go and share these pictures. Get their pictures out everywhere. And if you want to come out and search, they're going to be searching through the night. They are asking volunteer searchers to check in at White House Baptist Church. That's at the corner of Beaver and Celery Street. But again, police, the family, everyone being asked to keep an eye out for these kids. And coming up tonight on First Coast News at 6, we're going to be talking about some of the tips that have been coming in to police. That is the latest from the West Side. Jeannie and Anthony, back to you.
We currently have about 150 investigators focused out here.
Tonight, a massive search. 2 little children, brother and sister, missing for 30 hours now.
K9 teams, dive teams, drones from JSO and JFRD, all assisting in the search.
Hundreds of police and volunteers searching nearby woods.
Grandma, we have to find him. His mommy will cry. And I said, yes, baby. So we came over.
And investigators are not taking anything off the table.
Foul play could be a factor.
First at 6 tonight, this desperate search for a young brother and sister that has triggered a statewide Amber Alert. 30 hours, 2 young children, hundreds of police and volunteers.
Tonight, a race against time as the community searches for 6-year-old Braxton Williams and his sister, 5-year-old Bri'ya. The pair were last seen playing in front of their home on the west side at a mobile home park on West Beaver Street. You can see a large wooded area near the property.
This is a look at the Paradise Village mobile home park from the air. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office tells us they are searching under every trailer. You can also see the property is surrounded by a lot of trees and some woods and some retention ponds, and JSO's dive team has been searching those nearby ponds.
And First Coast News went along this morning with some volunteers as they searched the wooded areas near the mobile home park. You can see there the thick brush and narrow paths surrounded by thousands of trees. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is also using K9s to assist in the areas that are just too difficult for searchers.
And tonight we have live team coverage for you. On your sides, Troy Kless and Kaylee Tracy gathering new information for you tonight. But let's begin with First Coast News anchor Heather Crawford. Heather?
Jeannie, as you can see, the sun has set here at the Paradise Village Mobile Home Park, and this is the second night. This 5- and 6-year-old brother and sister are unaccounted for. Police simply do not know what happened to them, but we cannot show you their picture enough. This is 6-year-old Braxton, who has autism, Braxton Williams, and his 5-year-old sister, Bri'ya Williams. They were last seen playing in the front yard here at their mobile home. Their dad, police say, was out in the front yard, or a relative actually told me he was out in the front yard with them. He went inside for just a minute to get ready for a barbecue, came back out, and they were gone. That was around 11:30 yesterday morning. And tonight you can see a massive effort behind me. We've seen Jacksonville Sheriff's officers here. Jacksonville Fire Rescue is here. I just saw another K9 unit arrive on the scene. Local, state, federal resources all being brought in to do everything they can and scour the West Side community looking for any sign of these 2 missing children. Neighbors, they're doing their own search. I talked to a relative today. She told me the family has also been out passing out flyers, knocking on doors, looking anywhere these children may be. But as you mentioned, there are a lot of woods around here. There are a lot of retention ponds, and police say they really could be anywhere at this point. Now, we talked to their grandmother today. She is absolutely heartbroken, and she just wants her babies back home.
We haven't slept, we haven't eaten. We're worried about our babies. But I've cried all night. From being over here with them, I've never known them to go out in that wooded area, hoping that nobody took them. Braxton and Bri'ya, if y'all see Granny and Papa, we looking for you and we love y'all.
And their family just wanting them back home tonight. We heard from the sheriff today, who says the family is cooperating with investigators. Kaylee Tracy continues our team coverage now. Kaylee, you were out here yesterday, back here today, and there are tips that are coming into police.
Yeah, that's right. Yesterday we were talking to a couple who says they take a walk here every morning. They live in this neighborhood around 11:50, and if remember, that time is significant because 11:30 is when the family says they last saw these 2 siblings. They said around 11:50 that couple, they saw a car speeding past them, flying out of the neighborhood here. They saw 2 kids in the back seat. They didn't get a good look at them, so they don't know if it was these 2 children, but they say they did tell police because it kind of jogged their memory once they saw that there was an Amber Alert for kids in their neighborhood. So they told police that last night, and JSO now telling us they are investigating that among other tips as well. And that is why Sheriff Williams today pleading with the community to please, if you know anything, to please let them know.
Right now we're focused on the effort at hand, and that's finding these 2 missing children. So we want to make sure, again, we're engaging the community at every step and using every resource available.
Hundreds of officers and investigators using both state and federal resources in the search for Braxton and Bri'ya Williams. K-9s, the dive team, the urban search and rescue team, and others to search the densely wooded area here, ponds, sheds, cars, anywhere these 2 children could be.
We have found nothing.
Asking for the public's help to find the missing 5- and 6-year-olds.
We're asking right now for the community, again, to remain vigilant. Anything at all that you see that may be out of place, whether you believe it's connected to this or not, just reach out to us and let us know, let us figure that out. But we really do need the tips.
The sheriff not ruling anything out.
So right now, everything is an option. I mean, we are working multiple scenarios. Foul play could be a factor, obviously, at this point.
Williams said both parents told police they were home at the time Braxton and Bri'ya were reported missing. He says the entire family is and has been cooperating, everyone holding on to hope they'll find little Braxton and Bri'ya.
So we're not going to talk about when we give up right now because we're actively engaged in this search. So when we run out of every single lead, then we'll reevaluate where we go from there. But right now, I mean, our focus is pulling out all the stops, getting all the help we can.
And as you heard the sheriff say, pulling out all the stops, and he really needs the community. They all need the community to come together. They're asking if you have any surveillance video, you live anywhere in this area, not only homes, businesses, to see if they have anything on that. Search underneath trailers, anywhere that these 2 kids could be. And I want to give you real quick 2 numbers for you listening at home. If you do know anything, to please call JSO at 904-630-0500. If you want to remain anonymous, Heather, there's another tip line. That number is 904-398-3775.
Any bit of information at this point can help
Nothing
police.
is too small.
Kaylee, thanks so much. We also have that information on our website. I met a neighbor today, Jennifer Waldron, who was out here picking up her niece from the bus stop. A lot of kids live in this community, and I caught up with her to ask kind of what the neighbors are thinking. She told me that she and her family yesterday and today have been out searching the woods, searching around the ponds, and even looking in abandoned trailers. Here's what she told me today.
A lot of the moms and stuff talk in here every day, getting kids on and off buses, and so we kind of keep what's going on. So for someone to just be missing like that is very unusual.
Now, there are sex offenders who live out in this area. That we heard the sheriff today say that investigators have been talking to them. At this point, again, they don't know what happened to the children, and they are not ruling anything out. Troy Kless continues our live team coverage now. Troy, I know you've been speaking with neighbors as well today, and you also spoke to a mom who knows firsthand what it's like to have a missing child.
That's exactly right, Heather. A lot of the neighbors in this area that we've been speaking to are trying to help police navigate the area by searching in these wooded areas around this mobile home park. Now, for some parents who still have missing children to this day, they are emotionally invested by what has been unfolding here over the past 2 days.
Neighbors with a heightened sense of awareness, looking everywhere for 6-year-old Braxton and 5-year-old Bri'ya Williams. Dylan Coons says he would often see the children outside.
Like be having fun, playing around with their siblings and stuff outside. And
kids being kids.
Christy Davis works with the Florida chapter of the Community United Effort Center for Missing Children. Even though her son was 26 when he went missing, she says no matter the age of a missing child, the pain a parent experiences is immense.
They're going through the worst nightmare a parent could ever go through. And they deserve prayers and support from the community. Every eye open, paying attention, reporting what might have been seen.
That's why people like Coons and his friend Darian Porter are keeping their eyes out and are ready to help police in any way they can.
And we might be involved, we might go back there with them. So we just want to make sure, because we want to see these kids get home safe.
And again, the sheriff's office is urging anyone who may have any sort of tips about this case, they are urged to contact police. Heather, back to you.
Troy, thank you so much. And so police are asking you to share their pictures. If you want to help in this search, we've got comprehensive information and their pictures on firstcoastnews.com and on the First Coast News app. Go to the story, share their pictures everywhere. The more eyes looking for the children, the better. And they're asking any volunteers who want to search for the kids to go check in at White House Baptist Church at the corner of Celery and Beaver Street. Police tell me they are going to be out here throughout the night looking. First Coast News will be here as well, keeping you updated. We will have more live coverage tonight on First Coast News at 11. That is the latest from Paradise Village on Jacksonville's west side as the Amber Alert and the search for these two children continues. Heather Crawford, First Coast News, on your side.